Welcome to the course. I'm happy that we are all going to begin this journey together. I'd like to begin by introducing myself. I'm not going to say much about myself other than because you already have that information in the bios for the course. But I will say a few things. One thing that I would like to say is that I've been a Baha'i for a very long time. I became a Baha'i in the 60s. And one of the things that happened at that time, as you well know, is the civil rights movement was in full swing. So I volunteered to go home front pioneering in Jackson, Mississippi, and continue my education at Jackson State. It has been an interesting journey from then till now. I saw a lot of things happen that were both appalling but also amazing. It is also disappointing that some of the things that we fought for then, we're still fighting for now. But I am blessed to have seen the faith develop in amazing ways from that time till now. And that's one of the reasons that we're coming together in this course to kind of renew our commitment to the major goal of the faith.
Okay, great. And one of the things you taught me, Gwen, was about positionality.
Yes.
And it is something that has stayed with me from February when I first learned about it until now. I always think about it. Can you tell us some more? What is this and why is it important for this course especially?
Sure, I'm happy to talk about that. Positionality simply means that our backgrounds, the way we were socialized, these things influence the way we think and behave, and depend on where we're positioned within the context of our society and our families. That influences, again, how we react and how people act toward us. So, for example, as a Black woman, a Southerner, an educated Black woman, and so on, I have a certain way of seeing the world that is unique to my perspective. So others, depending on where they were raised, how they were raised, also have unique perspectives about life and living. So that's what positionality means. And the whole point of bringing this up in the course is to help us all understand that we are looking at these issues through this lens, through our lens of positionality. I may not be able to see someone else's perspective immediately because of my positionality. The same holds true the other way around. Someone may not recognize what I'm seeing and feeling because of their positionality. But again, part of the point of the course is to help us understand, recognize that, and somehow or another transcend that to understand that we're all in this together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's something that came up during the course. You probably know from my accent, everybody who's listening, that I wasn't born in this country, in the United States. I was born in the Caribbean, in Jamaica. And there were some of our learners in February who weren't born in the United States, and they had a different perspective. And I think it really enriched the course for them to speak about what they were seeing in the U.S. and how it may have differed from how they were brought up.
And I think that adds flavor, if you will, to what we're doing, because the diversity of opinions is always important. And I will also say that the other thing about positionality is we think that we're the center of everything, that everyone feels like this, which is obviously not the case, as you just mentioned. And one of the first times that it really hit me, that it really occurred to me that this was the case, was on a research trip that I was on in Accra, Ghana. And in interacting with the local professors at the university, they had a different understanding and a feeling about the whole idea of colonialism and slavery and the position of Black people in the world. And it was a real eye-opener for me.
Wow. I was thinking also of the influence of our families, and especially our mothers, because I know my mother had a very big influence on me in how I view myself in the world. And one of the units in the course is going to be about Black women and social justice. And I know that you had a lot to do with that unit, developing it. Can you tell us a little bit about what the learners can expect from this unit in particular?
Sure. One of the reasons that I wanted to include this unit in the course is that, typically speaking, when you look at the coverage of any historical event, usually Black women are not present, even though they were present. Their contributions are overlooked. And one of my best examples is Hidden Figures, where we had these women who were geniuses working at NASA. And yet we, as a public, never knew their names, never knew their contributions until the book came out and then the movie. So part of the purpose is to give honor, recognition to Black women who have been on the forefront of almost every movement that we see in this current society. I also wanted to bring up the whole position of positionality here because of Black women's unique experiences, again, within this society. If you look at the hierarchy in this current community, the society that we're living in, we find that Black women are always at a disadvantage. If we're on the bottom rung of the ladder, we pay more for our cars and our homes than anyone else. We get blamed more for anything else, any trouble that goes on, and we are the last to be celebrated. So this is a way to bring consciousness and awareness of the situation of Black women and to honor them in a respectful way.
Now, throughout the course, one of the things we've done is we've added some Baha'i quotations to all of the units. And it's not an easy thing, I think, to sort of integrate this very spiritual and very sort of, it can seem abstract, belief and system of thought that the Baha'is have into this violence, this disappointment, this lack of hope. Throughout the course, there was this thing that, we kind of feel sometimes hopeless because the situation is so bad and it seems like, we've come so far, but yet we haven't, Do you have anything that you want to say in terms of the Baha'i perspective on this? Because this is really a course for Baha'is about how they can apply what they've learned into their daily lives.
Yes, I will say that I'm glad as we got feedback from the previous course about the desire to have writings in all of the units. And we also included writings at the end, but I think it is important to spread the writings throughout the course. And many things I can say about this. One of the things is that the writings provide solace for us. When we feel hopeless, all we have to do is turn to the writings and understand that God is always with us, that Baha'u'llah is watching over us. We are given a blueprint for achieving the goals of the Baha'i faith. And so the writings help us reconnect to this overall blueprint that we have. And I think the other thing that I can say too about including the writings is that it's for our spiritual thirst. In other words, that they're meant to soothe us in moments of anxiety and frustration. Because one of the things I think that we come away with when we look at all of these issues facing us is a sense of urgency. That now is the time that we must act. And also in one of the letters that we recently received, that we need to be bold in our approach to solving the problems and actually carrying out the principles of the Baha'i faith. But the writings, again, connect all of this for us, provide us with a way to connect with our inner selves, with our spiritual selves, with one another and with God, because that's what we're doing. We're doing God's work, but it is very difficult.
Mhm.
Just as, when we're kids and we're playing, we fall down, we get hurt. The writings are our first aid, or they're the salve that
Mhm.
helps us heal.
Right. Thank you so much, Gwen. I'm looking forward to being with you in the course. And thanks everybody for watching.
Thank you very much. See you soon.
All right.
All right.
So I'm gonna pause now.
Bye.